Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, it's showtime. Hi, guys. So, I've had a crappy little day today. Nothing big, but all the little stuff is crappy. And so I decided I will use Cinco de Mayo as a transparent excuse for enjoying beverages. And here I am, enjoying a beverage. You may notice here, this character, no longer wielding a big malady thing, nor are they wielding a bow. Despite being a marksman, they're wielding 2 daggers. These are the Jelkhor's blast knives I may have spoken of a time or two before. You have to be a marksman, sadly, because there's almost nothing in the marksman tree that's good outside of that very first thing, which gives us detonating arrow, as these are melee weapons that use detonating arrow. And they give us lots and lots of points to work with. I shall note that even though we just swapped out the skills, it has 14. And the reason it has 14 is because this one adds +3, and this one adds +3 to detonating arrow. That's a total of 6 additional skill points. I'll note that this one also has melee lightning damage, and this does lightning damage. And it also applies frailty. So this one is really, really good, and it came as a random drop, and then I just used Runes of Ascension to get lucky and get a second one. And then I wasn't planning on actually using them until this build turned out to be terrible. So I had to change it completely. So I am no longer a falconer at all. My points are going into marksman. I'm going to put in 2 more there, and then 5 there, and then pretty much for the rest of it's going to be blade dancer until I've filled up most of these spots. And then there's probably going to be some falconer in there because marksman is terrible for this build, but necessary. Oh, another point. There was much rejoicing. So that's the story of my Jelkhor's blast knives. And there's another point. Let's see, where were we going? We're doing all kinds of just plain old lightning damage. Because I think if we go out here, that turns it into fire. Yeah, ignite. We don't want ignite. Lightning pen, however, does seem good. What other options do we have in this general vicinity? Shock chance. Explosion hit damage. Already hit an enemy with detonating arrow, and you hit him with another one while it's attached. That's not a function we have. We currently have them going off immediately. Homing arrows we don't need because we're hitting them with melee attacks. No longer costs mana. It's fine. It doesn't cost mana for us because we have 2 Jelkhor's knives that reduce the cost. How about here? Damage, increased arming time doesn't matter, but we also don't get the bonus. That's disappointing. What do we got here? Mana consumed? No, we don't want mana consumed. We don't want cold conversion. Shock chance, explosion hit damage. I don't think we want to reduce that. Although getting the shock chance up to 100% isn't bad. It's been a while, so I'm trying to refigure out the build. Only thing we get out of that is the damage. The 5% damage. But that does allow us to come over here. Explosion deals more damage multiplicative, but less explosion radius. No, I think we'll just go with the pen. Alright, we're also using this. We've already reduced the cooldown as much as we can. We got a second and a half of a nice big movement speed buff. We throw shurikens at enemies because we're also adding in shurikens. Lightning. Can we turn these... Sorry. Turn these into lightning? Lightning damage. We sure can. We can get there in 2. Okay. Speed and range. And that one will be next. Okay. We're now ready to commence murderation. I hope everyone has had a decent start to their week. Again, I try not to set an unachievable goal. Mondays suck, but there's days that suck and there are days that suck. For instance, mine sucked. Not in the grand scale of things. No big deal. Just all the little stuff was going wrong today. You know, the old thing they used to talk about where any of those, anything? No. Where if you were to drop a piece of toast that had jelly on it, you could guarantee that it would fall on the floor and be jelly side down. Yeah, I should have been so lucky. Today would be the day where instead I would reach out, I would tip it, it would start flipping, and it would stick to the cupboard and then slide down, and right as I reached for it, it would then fall off the cupboard and then fall on the floor.
Easy. Too easy.
Just all the little stuff. And I was just in an escalatingly bad mood. And so I decided, it's Cinco de Mayo. We can pretend that's the reason we're going to have a few beverages. Stop running, you little jerk. Give me your stuff. Boots, amulet. Oh, I did want to get that other one before I forget. There we go. I have unlocked Dark Quiver. Going that way isn't going to work. Ooh, but we do have... okay, we go this way, because we want to get to that nemesis. Not that way. So I have played this build before in the past, and I just find it fun. But it is a deeply damaged build in that you have to be a marksman, and it gets almost nothing out of the marksman tree, because almost everything in the marksman tree has the word bow in it somewhere, and this doesn't use a bow. As you can probably tell by the fact I'm not using a bow. Let's see, I could use that one conceivably. And it really is only good, I think, if you've got two of the knives. That's a dead end. So let's not go down there. Hope to see me play Galaxies again. Well, like I said, I am a fickle creature, and I play whatever happens to be in my fancy at the moment. So it will get played, but it probably won't get played soon. I've got a number of games coming out. Wednesday is the best named game of the year. Rail Gods of Hystera comes into early access on Wednesday. And then Friday, hopefully, I will have gotten an invite to the beta for Dune Awakening. You listening, Funcom? Hey, wait. What happened to the... There he is, okay. for the Nemesis. You got it again? Thanks. Wait, I hope you have a blast with it. I mean, I can guarantee you that some significant chunk of you wanting to play is pure nostalgia, but there is still solid game in there. Let's see. Falcon Fists. Those are only used for falconry. I was in falconry yesterday. I'm not in falconry today. Would I ever see Disney getting involved with it? I mean, certainly it's possible. Legally, they don't have a leg to stand on against the SWG Emu, as that is reverse engineered, and that is protected by U.S. law. Check, I believe it was IBM versus Phoenix BIOS. But if they chose to sue, there's no way the emulator team could possibly stand up against it. But the code is out of the box, so to speak. So unless they're going to start trying to hammer down individual nails for the servers, I can't see it happening. It's probably not worth their time. You know, they probably looked at it and legal went, okay, well, we could spend a few years and a couple $1 million, or we can let 2,000 or 3,000 people play a game that's been dead for 10 years. Seems like they'd be wasting money because it's a free game. Yeah, it's, well, and if worse comes to worse, someone will host it in Europe or in Canada, where they're looking at millions and millions of of money to spend to stop, 1,000 people from playing a game that isn't costing them any money. So someone would have to do something really bad legally for them to even bother paying attention. I mean, the amount of money they're quote unquote losing from this isn't even a rounding error for fucking Disney. Did I click the wrong thing? Or have I disconnected again? I bet lost connection. Come on, EHG, seriously. Defiant End 3 has followed. Well, I have got my spiel. If you were on last night, you heard it like 4 times. Welcome to my humble little stream of misfunction, malfunction, dysfunction, and frequently complete and total unfunction. You're most welcome indeed, and thank you very, very much for the follow. Enjoy the game. There'll be thank you. There'll be parts of the game that you'll love, that you'll remember, and they're exactly the way you remember them. Maybe even better. But there'll be parts that you'll find are, oh God, I forgot. This is kind of a pain in the ass. And you'll be right. Some of it is a pain in the ass. But that's what it's like when you're playing an old game. Let's see. No. Nope. Can't use. Won't use. Wouldn't use. Have several. Increased bow elemental damage. Again, if it was elemental damage, yes. But I'm not using a bow. I'm using daggers for my bow damage. Oh, you guys want some too? You want some? Come get some. Sorry, I'm feeling my oats a bit today. I'll probably be kind of a jerk today. My apologies in advance. I've just had one of those days where every little thing has been a pain. And And I'm going to take it out on the rest of the world. And the rest of the world isn't in my chat right now, so you're it. It's not fair, but neither is the world. Oh, they barfed out another one. Would you mind? Sir, sir, I'm trying to pick up my loot here, sir. Entire blue set. Let's find a safer place before we try and get all our skills and everything. I'm sure you've had days like that too, where it just seems like every little thing goes wrong. Nothing big happened. You know, I have not been diagnosed with Creutzfeldt-Jakob disease and mad cow. I did not wake up today and discover a painful, unexpected, and unattractive growth on my scrotum. So nothing big happened today, just all the little diddly shit. Oh, he's coming right back. And I'll just have to kill him again. All these little spitting jerks. I mean, it's just rude. Were they not brought up, you know, in a proper way?
Too easy.
All right, we've got another loot lizard over here. I can see him on the map. At least I think that's what he is. Yep, it's a loot lizard, and he's dead. Anything we want? Maybe. For a while, when I was working for a living. At one point, I was surrounded in my cube farm by a number of women. And I would complain occasionally about, you know, being in a mood and how classically that's the kind of thing that's associated with women and their time. You know, I wasn't saying that's what it was, but classically that's the kind of thing that people would ascribe to it if it was a woman. And so one day I go in and I'm mentioning, yeah, I think I'm having one of those days again, you know, where if I was a woman, they'd be blaming it on that, and they all bust up laughing. And I say, what? Turns out they'd been keeping track of when I was having those days, and they were occurring about every 4 weeks. Evidently, I was in touch with my feminine side. Look, stop spitting. It's gross. Glaives. I was hoping to make a spear build, but it just didn't work out. Wait, where the hell am I supposed to be freaking going? I guess all the way down there. Not there. One of the sad things about this build is I won't be getting any other new weapons until I can get more of the same uniques with better stats, because they require these specific uniques. Seriously, where am I supposed to be going here? I haven't been paying attention. I've been too busy blabbing. This way? Got him. Dark Sickle of the Coven sounds like it should be awesome. Where are we supposed to be going? Evidently up here. About the only thing that's like a negative to this build is that you have to be within melee range, which means sometimes I'm holding down the right click and nothing's going off because I'm not quite close enough. Would you freaking die? Thank you.
That was close.
But it is a fun build. And I knew it would be at least decent, whereas the build I was putting together was not. It stank. Stunk. Stink. Please do not hang again. Do not disconnect again. I don't want to run through that entire freaking map again. Please just get me to the damn waypoint. Thank you. Oh, y'all want to just keep coming? I'll just keep murdering you then. Back to the Oracle's Abode to sell some crap and spend our spec points and whatnot. Alright, so if we were to go back into Marksman, our next 5 will go there. That's a good chunk of dodge rating. Over here, melee attack speed and Dusk Shroud chance. Let's go ahead and finish off the immediate points in Marksman. Let's see, we're still throwing up a Frigid Barrage. Don't want the Tripwire. Slow chance, extra projectiles. Yeah, extra projectiles. Okay, 2 here. I believe we were going there. Yes, lightning damage. Oh, more lightning damage. Throwing the shurikens when we shift. And a couple more points over here for more lightning penetration. You guys are all about lightning penetration, you know. Fireballs. A magical spell. Wow, interesting. We got fireballs. And this one is chance to ignite with fire skills and necrotic. It's like a combo. We have gotten the entire 3-piece set for that a couple of times over already. Physical penetration with puncture. Not using puncture. Thank you. And let's check. We have finished this ring. the 29 dodge rating is the only new goodie in there. I think we have another one set aside. We do. This one has 13 Weaver's Will. Over here, that one finished. Crit Multi is nice. The Dancing Strikes would be good in a slightly different build. I don't think we are going to get that. Let me check. Are we going to get Dancing Strikes in our Blade Dancer? No. Dancing Strikes is the base skill, and I don't get the base skill in anything but Marksman because I need the Marksman base skill. So I don't get that. I mean, I understand it, but I don't get it. That doesn't quite fit. Fine, these will fit. And didn't we have, let's see. That's extra throwing damage, but level 62. All right, we do have another one of these. Sadly, swapping from this to this, I'm going to lose a point in every skill. And they don't, as far as I know, there's no rhyme or reason to how it removes points. So I'm going to lose a point temporarily. It'll randomly remove one, and then I have to go back in and reassign them. So, for instance, we can see it's 15, 12, 11, 17. And now it's back, and they all have an extra point in them. I believe we were there. Yes, we were. And for this, we were there. Actually, we probably had a point in there or there, but we'll go there anyway. Over here, cooldown recovery speed. And over here, arcing blast. And this one can get put away. It doesn't fit. Why does it have to behave like this? Why does it have to be so mean to me? I have plenty. Let's check how many Torches of the Pontifex I have. 2. This one has legendary potential. This one already has legendary affect, so this one can get sold.
Can I help you?
1,000 gold. I am rich. All right, back to the Majasa. Oh, back to Titan's Canyon, I should say. Anyone else enjoying adult libations
They work to get that one.
for Cinco de Mayo? Cinco de Mayo? I'll try to pronounce it correctly. Up here, there is always a unique drop, but it's one I don't think I've ever used. No plans, just hanging out? I think just hanging out. That seems like a pretty good plan. I mean, it's not like I'm, despite having had enchiladas for dinner, they were frozen. It's not like I'm going all authentic, for instance. No tequila. I like tequila. Tequila doesn't like me quite so much. Ah, here we go. We're finally going to empower it again. For any who may not be an American who's watching, we Americans, a large subset of us, celebrate Cinco de Mayo, which is the Mexican Independence Day, more or less. And it might seem a little strange, with good reason, that Americans would be celebrating somebody else's. But I'm pretty sure I know how it got started. That somebody said, hey guys, I got an idea. We're going to have a party for Cinco de Mayo. And his friends went, why? That's not our holiday. And he said, oh, that's the easy reason. Tequila. And they all went, so, Cinco de Mayo. Let's go. All right, health regeneration, it's okay. Dex is good. More dex would be welcome. Continue with the dexterity, please. So when I whack something with the Jelkhor's knives in this spec, it spits out a cone of very high damage. I haven't tried it with just doing the explosive in a circle version, which is the default. It's one of the nifty things about Last Epoch, because you can spec out every skill on its own. Bad man coming. You can do a lot of real deep customization on a per skill basis. Yes, my loot, please. Thank you. That's all? Cheap bastard. All right, we were going for 4 more here to increase our dodge. What's our dodge currently at? Dodge. Endurance. Where the bleep is it? Damage. All right, those are all the damage numbers. Where the hell's the dodge number? Should be in here. Other. Oh, it's up above. It's one of the regular stats. 28% of the time I'm dodging. All right, that's all the pin on lightning pin. Over here, where were we moving to? Let's see. More shurikens. And then in shurikens, more lightning damage. No? No? Why no? I have a point. It says, oh, have we disconnected again? Son of a bitch. Bet we have. Okay, maybe not, but why isn't it letting me put a 4th point in there? It says I've got a point free. Let me put that in. Why not there? I don't understand that at all. Fine, whatever. Disconnected 3 times so far today. Yeah, it's really getting tiresome. and it's something they need to fix. In short, EHG, fix your fucking netcode.
This is the answer quickly.
It doesn't help, for instance, every time anyone asks DatMods, who's, playing the game to 3,000 people, why isn't he playing Last Epoch? And he says, well, both of my hardcore characters died to server disconnects. You know what it makes you look like? It makes you look like a bunch of amateurs. And you're not, so fix it. Yeah, I don't know why I couldn't add that point. It didn't want me to.
The Emperor, your try over there. Go. I'll try. Hopefully, I will see you soon.
And what build are you playing, Snoopy? I am curious. Clearly not playing something as cool as Jelkhor blast knives, but I'm sure it's cool. I mean, how could you possibly be playing anything as cool as Jelkhor's? It's possible there's no thing in gaming cooler than Jelkhor blast knives. Paladin, Beastmaster. Yeah, well, Pally is definitely the strongest build right now. Sentinel. Your choice of Sentinel. If you're Judgment Pally, that's the strongest build right now. I did a Void Knight, and it didn't die until 82, so.
Easy. Too easy.
I just hadn't built up enough defense. I'd made it, the first 81 levels added on without basically building any defense other than the skills and everything, but spending almost none except for on defense outside of resists. Destroying Hammerden? Yeah, I leveled on Hammerden. So I know Steel Mage was playing Hammerden hardcore into the end game. And I have played Hammerden a few times. So yeah, it's a very solid build. And Pally's got survivability out the yin-yang. But it's still not as cool as Jelkhor's blast knives. I'm sorry, it's just not. It's not your fault. Probably. Well, let's just go behind these guys and kill everybody. Ring of the Third Eye. Oop, this way. Any further this way? I don't think so. I think we've got to turn around. You missed me. Eat lightning. Who needs a bow? Or arrows when you've got Jelkhor's blast knives. I love the build, but I understand that it's actually a dumb build. Because basically you have to be a marksman. Because it requires, to use it, you've got to use the first skill in marksman. But it uses almost nothing in the marksman tree, because they almost all say bow. Some of them say throwing, but most of them say bow. We got all those. That's not going to do anything for us. We'll grab that one. Over here, it won't let us put another point in there. I don't know why. I've never seen that before. I don't think that's actually very good, and I'll probably end up yoinking those points out, but that's fine. Spellblade. I have enjoyed a good Spellblade build once or twice.
If it weren't for you,
I know Mathel was just playing a Spellblade build, and he'd played one before. And he found it really a spec he enjoyed. It's one I think I should enjoy, but I've only played a couple of times. Generally, the class fantasy of a battle mage is one that I have, that I like a lot. So, what are we looking at? Health regen and cold resist. That's really boring. Dex and endurance. More dex is gooder. Keep going with the dex, guys. We like the dex. Yeah, I don't think that the shuriken is really all that useful on my shift. We have got an exiled mage. Oh. Sure, no. Bows? Ew. Who uses bows? Interesting. A pair of the ward gloves. And a pair of ward on kill gloves. Can't wear two sets of gloves because I am not a green Martian. That is an old guy book reference or a little watched movie reference for those of you who saw John Carter. The worst titled movie in recent memory. Now, the books it's based on are an enormous amount of fun. We've got Edgar Rice Burroughs' Mars series. All right, we're going to challenge him. We're going to get some stuff. This guy hits pretty hard, gotta say. I'm burning through potions here. Alright, we got the items, we got the goodies. Single target's a bit lacking, gotta say. Clear is good. Single target, not great. The Barren Aqueduct. What did the Romans ever do for us? The aqueduct. What? The aqueduct. Back to... Where is she? Where is she? The Oracle's Abode. We'll dump some stuff. Maybe take a quick browse at the... Eviscerating glaive of venom. Where were you when I was looking for spears? That's no. Chance to poison on hit. Lots of health. Increased health regeneration. That is not something we need. And that's an offhand catalyst, which means it would go into the offhand where I have a Jelkhor's blast knife. Nothing is taking my Jelkhor's blast knife from me. Ever. We're going to live together in happiness forever. It's got a lot of elemental resists. The rogue class does not get much in the way of easily obtained resists. Throwing damage with caltrops. Take care. Catch you again. Have a great night. Thank you for hanging out. Happy Cinco de Mayo. Unless it's uno, dos, tres, cuatro, cinco, seis. Unless it's seis de Mayo where you are. I mean, my cold res is fine, but my lightning and fire would both go down to 12% if I were to yoink those gloves off. We can sell that. I don't think there's any way to turn Cinder Strike into void damage. Oh, cold damage. Could you do it in cold damage? Falcon Fists are a falconry build defining unique for unarmed combat. It does have the max +4 to Cinder Strike, but only 1 to falconry. I never seem to get really good numbers on those kind of items. For whatever reason. The ones that have multiple skills, it's like, that's usually what I'll get. I'll get 1 good and 1 terrible. It makes me sad. Alack and alas. All right, we are in the aqueduct. Dead end. I never get this right the first time. I do mean never. And wrong again. There is a certain comfort in knowing that I always get it wrong, I suppose. We have another nemesis. Brand new nemesis, and it is Orion Sunseal. And Pillager's Gold. Well, I mean, we've got to give it a shot, right? Lightning cracks, in case you weren't paying attention. Yeah. He's coming back. But that's fine. I murdered him anyway.
Here I was, hoping this would lead us closer.
The necropolis of the deep. We have another nemesis. Well, the same nemesis again. Any of these buffed up yet? That one gets fire resistance. Nice, an extra resistance. Cold resistance.
Not happening.
Lightning cracks. Just want to make sure everyone knows that lightning cracks, because he says that like 15 times. Apparently he's got a thing about lightning. You know, I'm using lightning too, so I suppose I have a thing about lightning as well. I just don't, you know, publicize it quite as much. Another Weaver point. No, down. This way. Those big guys are bad news. They get this swinging their rock around, which sounds like it's a dirty euphemism, but no, they have a big ass rock. They start swinging it in a circle, and it hurts. It hurts lots. Unless you face murder them fast. So let that be a lesson to you guys. Always murder in an expeditious fashion. Ooh. Yulia's Haven. We will... another player. Pardon the yawn. Talk to Yulia.
The heart of the citadel is beyond. There is an exit.
Talk to Alric again.
And when he fled, I saw him heading deeper into
And then we will take a very brief AFK to refill my cup.
take a peek at his nest.
My Cinco de Mayo with cheer. And, like it or not, he's back. All right. Can I just sell all of it? That's not terrible. That is better. Intelligence? I don't need any stupid intelligence. We got another point. We have another point over here. Let's see. Increase crit chance. That is lightning to fire. We don't want that. We like our lightning. Lightning cracks. I still can't put a point in there, and I don't know why. I've never seen that before. So, yeah, I'm confused. I think we want to yank those out. Those don't seem to be doing anything. So we're going to respec points. Those points will come back relatively quickly. All right, we'll take care of Alric's quest first. If I picked up any more, I have picked up a couple of idle slots. I should fill those soonish. Ability. Back. Pieces of 8. We have another exiled mage. Where do you think you're going? Sash, yes, we'll take that. Let's see. Not bad. So I will probably not be on tomorrow. But on Wednesday, my intent is to be playing an early access game with the best title of any game this year, guaranteed. And that is Rail Gods of Hystera. Why is he still moving around? He's dead. We will go right back to Yulia's. And then on Friday, hopefully, I will have gotten an invite
You killed him?
to the
If we pull
beta,
maybe I
the
could
public
use this
beta
to use
for
ones, eh?
Dune Awakening. All right, that is all of our points we're going to spend here for some time. And we're going to go back to Blade Dancer and start spending more points. Where are we going to be spending them? There? Yeah, attack speed, Dust Shroud chance. We can only spend up to the chain mark here, so not too much left in Blade Dancer, and then we'll be going into Falconeer for a whole bunch of stuff. Because right now we have lightning. Interestingly, it's still listed as a bow attack. But it's not a bow attack anymore because of these. No longer requires a bow. Detonating arrow's initial projectile changed to a melee attack. Detonating arrow scales with melee damage instead of bow damage. Right, so it shouldn't say... There, now it says it correctly. Lightning melee area, dexterity. I was thinking I'd been misunderstanding the whole time and that I could still use bow skills and affect the attack, but no, it requires melee, which is exactly what I thought. Not throwing either, so a lot of the stuff is either bow or throwing, and neither applies. All right, we turned this into all ice damage, I believe, right? It's coming back. Aha, I know it. I knew you were coming back. I knew he was coming back. You can't fool me. A lot of things are dying in poison pools. That's unfriendly. Stop throwing crap. Oh my god, these people are so rude. Pile of destruction. That's what the world is today. Hey, hey. That's an old guy music reference. Really old music reference. That's 60s nostalgia. No, no, and no. But yes on that.
Easy. Too easy.
Easy. Too easy. That's what she said. I was. And the Citadel sewers, because if there's anything you count on in any role-playing game, ARPG, CRPG, MMORPG, inevitably, It always takes you to the sewer. That's right, we need to go this way. Because we need... Up. And here comes the first of the 3 or 4 we need to kill. Little wandering eyes. Too easy. Here comes the second one. Hey, guys, you mind? I'm working on something here. Got a client. Ding 43. And here's the next one. And the last one. I'm getting a little more aggressive in using my movement skills, speeding things up and such. A little bit longer distance, a little bit less cooldown, but it'll cleanse ailments. Grab that. I still can't put a point in there, and I don't know why. My assumption is it's actually in there. It's just not telling me it is. 4, 5, 8, 11, 14, 15. No, that's not it. Huh. Weird. Very weird indeed. Attack speed and shock duration, sure. Get it? We did. Oh, he's back. I didn't give him permission to return from the grave. You just can't count on some people at all to behave themselves. Maybe. Am I full? You bastards. Okay, that one's a no. That one's a no. Those are no's. Okay, fine. We have another nemesis who are ready to challenge.
drop something.
We dumped that and that. All right. We want to finish this off. Again, there's nothing I hate more than having to cover my tracks because a game gets disconnected when it's not my fault. I detest that beyond words.
That was close.
So I don't want to get disconnected and have to run through a whole map again. EHG, please fix your fucking netcode. Thank you. Pardon my profanity and my outburst. It just really... It makes me so angry. %56 fire resist. That's really good fire resist. Let's see. This is throwing fire damage with burning daggers. That's a really strange item. 15% cold resistance. That's kind of weak. I mean, it's a freebie, so it's not bad, but it's kind of weak. All right, now shifting will cleanse us of conditions. That can go. That's probably a keeper. 51% poison damage. Not on this build, sadly. 11%. Plus 11 lightning damage with shurikens, which we've got. Okay. We want to see if maybe we can't make that into something we can use. Especially because we're not using falconry anymore, which is on our headpiece, doing nothing for us. Lightning damage. It's not physical, right? Yeah, so we're going to look at that too. Probably do a little bit of crafting here. Seems likely. Halvar's stand. Oh my god, that's got to get put away in the right place. Where's the other Halvars? Wasn't there 3 Halvars? Is there only 2? There's 3. Where did I miss the other piece? Am I blind as a bat? Getting to be that way. Chance of poison on hit. Oh, there's the Halvors thing. I was blind as a bat. Survey says. You, sir. Blind as a bat. Alright, those we're going to bank as well. And these we're going to try and craft on. Alright. Lightning damage with shuriken. Mana. Necrotic and armor. How's our necrotic? Necrotic's not great, so that's fine. We don't have any additional points of lightning damage with shurikens. Okay, well, we can't increase that right now then. Let's go with some armor. Come on, how about crits and you give me a charity lightning damage with shurikens? Come on. You could do that if you liked me, if you were really my friend. Evidently, it's not really my friend. There we go. We got one at least. That was nice. All right, we got a new hat. We're going to salvage this one into all 5. That's unusual. And this. Lightning damage. Yes, please. Fizz resistance is nice. Health regen's fine. What else do we have here? Dex probably is what we want. Dex? Really? No basic stats on that? Cold, fire, minion, necrotic, physical, poison, throwing, void, minion. Who's got the minion? Who wants the minion? Not awesome. Throwing damage, I guess it'll be. A little fizz resist. Our current fizz resist is pathetic. That'll help make it less pathetic. A little more lightning damage, please. And we are out of potential. Little throwing damage, some physical resist, some regen. We give up the physical, +1 to physical skills, a little movement speed, throwing attack speed. No. In there? Yeah, in there. Alright, how's this looking? Throwing damage, good. Attunement does nothing for us. Health regen, a lot. Cold resist. Well, cold resist is welcome. Over here. Dex. Net. We're not using net. A little bit of health. We've got 10 points of Weaver's Will left. If we could dump a whole shitload of that into the flat health and then the dexterity, I would be pleased with that. We're back in the Imperial era at the Imperial Summit, the Immortal Summit, where we have to kill King Bones himself. Actually, not really. You have to kill his lieutenants. Experience. Oh, I thought I'd killed him. I had not. I have now. Level 44.
Easy. Too easy.
Had I not taken care of him? I thought I had. Evidently, again. Wrong. Lens is wrong again. You just can't trust that lens. Anywhere. With anything.
The Immortal Emperor, huh?
For any length of time.
Probably my biggest hit yet.
Okay, Admiral Harton, here's a who. And Maggot Boy.
I've heard of your power. Let's see how you face this.
That is not pleasant. Stop that right now, young man. And by young man, I mean enormous spider-like bug critter.
Who are you?
Not happening.
there's some narrative going on there. We've now gone back in time where we will meet Yulia. But not the Yulia who knew who we are. Yulia before she knew who we are.
Oh, God.
So I was introduced to her in the future, and she's introduced to me in the past.
That smoke
And it just doesn't work out ideally. Time travel. It's complicated. I really haven't had any troubles since swapping over, except for the single target stuff. The single target stuff is pretty dicey. Speaking of which, single target. Oh, not yet. Why am I taking damage? Not standing in anything. Not a fan of that. Alright, we were looking here. Kelthan Blasting Agent. Unique Oil Vol. Rogue Relic. Decoy. I don't really like Decoy. None of the others are particularly interesting. So we're going to banish it. And that will be the last we'll see of that one. And we'll get a new one on the next one. And hopefully they'll have something I like. Something delicious and nutritious. My hit points are pretty low here. So I would not be surprised by a unwelcome, unexpected death. It would be unexpected, but it would not be surprising. My hit points are low, and evade is great as long as you're evading. It's less great when you don't evade. I have my window open because it's a really nice day here, and so if you hear some yelling in the distance, it's just the neighbor's kids playing in the sort of square, the courtyard of my little condo complex. More experience on kill. Okay. They insisted that I had to murder them. I didn't want to do it. Let's drop huge-ass meteors on everybody's heads. I'm sure they'll enjoy it. Ding 45. Is that what it was? 45? Yeah, it was. Huh. I'm a little higher level than I normally am when I get to this point, but it's probably because my build was so crap before. It's still not great, but at least it's fun. Oh, really nice day here today. It was 81, I believe, which for my Celsian friends is 22, I think? No, 27, I think. Let's see. Well, 25 is 77, so yes. 27. I know in a number of places that would be considered hot weather, but around here that's nice. Okay, just bzzzt. Pardon me a sec, I need to bzzzt all of you at once. It's just more economical for me to bzzzt all of you at once. That's what we're going to do. I'm going to grab a bunch of gold. More money, more problems. And they say that different problems. The rich have different problems. They don't have no problems. And they don't have more problems. The Scorched Grove. Now let me put the point in there. I am confuzzled. Frequently. Was there another one? Did I miss one? No, got all. And it's Heorot, everyone. Heyo! How you doing? I'm helping him out. Sure, he's a god and sort of a centaurish figure with a stag head. But the other god is just a big fiery bird. And at least Heorot is chill. Chill. Oh my god, kill me. Not actually. And Yulia.
Put your weapons here and did find one here. Here, come. We have much to discuss.
And this is the last batch of quests I do before I stop following the storyline and run off to the end of time and start doing monoliths. Because the next story map after this one is some of the worst design in the game. It's just terrible. Way better than it was at launch, but I'm afraid it's still bad. Let's see. That one has forging potential, but I think we were level locked. That thing's terrible. Oh my god, it's terrible. Why am I using that? Did I just drop that on the ground? Where did it go? Back into the... I mean, it is better than nothing, but that is literally all it is better than. Don't need the cold resistance, so it figures that's the one it gives me. No, no, no. Nuh-uh. No. Elemental critical strike chance. It's too bad most of the other stats stink on ice. I need a new chest piece too, because that one's kind of crap. That's still going? It's dropping points into endurance. Stop. Stop. Melee attack speed. Critical, but yeah. Absolutely none of that is any good.
Yes.
But I've got to have I mean, literally, I must have a better amulet than that I can use. It doesn't take much. And that one is a huge increase. Lightning resistance, ward decay. By itself, it's better than what I'm using. Just the projectile damage, the thrown damage is better. I'm going to do a quick scan. Elemental resistance and spell damage, that one would have been better too. But we're going to take a look and see about the thrown damage, if that's really any significant improvement. Minion crit and int. I don't need no int. Lens am smart. Spell damage again. Come on, guys. Come on. Give the old man a nice, happy present. Something useful. Health, melee fizz for minions, and I can summon wolves up to the maximum number of wolves that I couldn't summon. Purple, fizz pen, lightning pen, and necrotic resist. Sure, I can roll some stuff on that and make that better. Increased elemental damage over time. Yeah, I don't think that's a sale. Mana Spriggan form. I can't turn into a walking plant. Strong mind. Mana, maximum mana, stun avoidance. No. Alright, well, we can do something with this one at least. The lightning pin is obviously good for us. We would like... What are the current resists? We would like fire. We can then change our gloves out. Fire would probably be good. Fire resist. Lightning pen. We only have 2 of those, so there's 1. Alright, that's going to be it for now. The fizz pen I don't think is of any particular use to us. Everything else is doing lightning damage. Except the ballista, which is doing cold damage, right? Yeah, cold. Oh, technically it gets effects from a bow attack, but it isn't good. So right now, Shuriken's doing 953, and if I swap this, 681, but we're really not that interested in Shuriken as being a big damage generator. Alright. And we will talk to the old man who needs materials to help his sick niece. Oh, grandchild. But he doesn't actually have a sick grandchild. What he has is a limp dick. Yes, I'm serious. He met a widow, older than himself. And when she looks at him, well, he just... And I ask him to please stop. Because I don't want the details. But we do have... Another nemesis. Anyone else? Spooter's coming. Alright. Oh. Right. That, I tried playing with those. I didn't really like it. In that evade doesn't make you dodge. It just scares everything once. That's a no-go. Dark Quiver is a no-go. Shuriken's really not a big deal. So we're going to banish this one as well, as it's just not anything we would ever use. And at this point, it takes so long for me to kill him, it's not worth my doing it unless there's a chance I could get something useful. Why are you running away, doggy? I like doggies. Why doggy run away? Spider can run away. That's fine. Just keep running. Now, I'm not an arachnophobe. Although I don't like it if you turn on the bathroom light and there's one on the wall right next to you. I don't particularly care for that, but generally speaking, I'm not an arachnophobe. I am an entomophobe, though. Don't like them bugs. And the nomad camp. We are headed for, as I've explained before, there's a pair of mobs that have provided the first death for my characters many times. That is the Wengari matriarch and patriarch, and we're headed for them in the immediate future. Like about 4 minutes from now. Those things come running in during their doing their Naruto impersonation with their arms thrown back. That might actually be good. The Wengari Fortress. Level 46. What else we got? Straightforward. The Wengari matriarch and patriarch have just killed me. Whoop! Oh, damn, he's dishing out lots of damage. I'm not a fan. What the shit is going on? All of those little storms that he's summoning up are just beat-sticking me. As something that needs to be, as a class that needs to be in melee range to do any freaking damage, not a fan. One of the reasons I tend to choose ranged classes and stuff. Well, technically this is a ranged class, marksman. Except this can only actually do any freaking damage by being at melee range. Oops. All right. Wengari matriarch and patriarch. One of them is short range, the other is not. The matriarch has significant, big sort of waves of ice damage. And the patriarch is, he stands there and puts out a beating. And so you've got to kind of, you want to pick one to kill first. In my case, it's going to be the patriarch, I think. That's her dropping badness. That almost killed me. Meanwhile, he jumps around.
Not happening.
Got one of them. Eek. Was never in any doubt whatsoever. Had it the whole way. Entire way. No concern. I'm lying a lot. Well, they didn't get me this time, so now, feeling confident, I will stroll into too much at one time and die. Alright, we need to kill a couple more dudes, or a dude still in here. Stop throwing things at me. It's mean. Unlike, say, me hitting all of you guys with big-ass electrical bolts.
Easy. Too easy.
Which is definitely not mean. It's the way my people say, hello. Yeah, that's it. God, I really, really dislike them dropping. We have enough, yeah. Dropping a dialogue box in the middle of the screen. That's just such crap design. Let's see, return. Yes. Back to Heoboria. Talk to the Nomad leader. More idol slots. Grab a couple of tall idols. What do we need? Void and lightning. I would think physical and lightning probably are more needed right now. Physical resist. Oh, those are horizontals. Can I get a horizontal out of it? One. Fizz and Vit, that's pretty good. What the shit, that's not the one I was trying to grab. What that kid said, I can't disagree with him. I don't think there's any way I can get another horizontal or vertical out of it. So, a couple of small ones. What did we grab? We grabbed Fizz, right? So, lightning. %, 1% elemental, 2% elemental, 3% lightning. Boring. But it's fine. Really, it's fine. I wanted to play a little bit with the Nest of Nightmares. I have 2 of them now. I think it's basically only usable by a primalist. I could be wrong about that. Hell, I probably am. I'm
Yes.
me, after all. That was something that I might be able to make something out of. Let's see, dodge and maximum shadows. Int. Poison chance per equipped dagger and bow hit. Always irks me. I have mentioned in the past that something I wish they would come up with, not just for this game, but for ARPGs, is a type of item where the affixes were more likely to be supportive of each other, so you wouldn't get an item that had fire damage and cold damage. You're more likely to get, say, fire damage and ignite chance. That kind of thing, where you are more likely to get certain things that have a correlation.
See.
I mean, not 100%. Not always going to come in with all of the goods, so to speak. But to have a higher chance. Why does it fucking do that? Mana efficiency with decoy does literally nothing for me. I don't suppose I actually have any of those, do I? No, I have none of those. Which means I can't get rid of it. Which means it's really not that helpful for me. I mean, I can get Dex. The tier 3 health, well, how much is that? Let's see. So if I was to swap 944, yeah, 70 less health. No, then that is not an item that's of any use to me at all, as it is. Okay, so now we're heading back out. I need to take a brief AFK because, again, my cup runneth under. I am back. Weird.
Not happening.
So I am going to get the meds, the components for the old man's boner meds. Spooters. The ice caverns. We need an Eber liver and a bitterwing fang. That's a dead end, I do believe. Yes, it is. Pardon me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish out this quest, get ourselves to the temple, and call it an evening. Oh, we've got another nemesis. What's this one? Jelkhors. We definitely want to see if we can get a better Jelkhors. And Eliko's Abandon. Throwing attacks. +5 to all resistances. Yeah, I could actually use possibly both of those, so we're going to empower. We won't be getting that, at least not on stream.
That was close.
Spooters. Gotta squish the spooters. Wow. Those spooters erupted in more spooters. The tundra. The frozen tundra of Lambeau Field. Well, we have another go. At the nemesis. Chance to bleed on hit has been added there. Recurve chance with Heartseeker. Actually, that supports the throwing attacks, because there's a helm you can wear that turns Heartseeker into a thrown attack. So that kind of combos. I like that. Two down. Do we not have the Eberliver? No, we don't. We don't have the Eberliven Eberliver. Grab that. The Eber I need should be over here. There it is. We've got that. Let's blow our horn. Temple of Heorot. Alright, we've unlocked back to Heoboria, and I'm going to call it evening here. I want to thank you guys for hanging out with me on this Cinco de Mayo. I will be off tomorrow. I'll be back on Wednesday, presumably at the usual time, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern, middle of the night in Europe, morning in Asia, Australia, and New Zealand with Rail Gods of Hystera, early access. Probably on Wednesday and Thursday. And then Friday, hopefully, knock on wood, the beta session for Dune Awakening. If not, I will be complaining bitterly. And in protest, we'll be streaming some other game. Anyway, those are my plans for the rest of the week. Again, I want to thank you guys for hanging out. I hope the rest of your day, evening, morning, choose one, goes great. Hopefully you'll see me soon. So, take care and ciao for now.